What happens when a greedy business owner thinks he's the smartest guy in the room? He tries to underpay, manipulate, and lie his way out of every deal. But one day, he runs into someone who's 3 steps ahead. This is the story of how a slick TV station owner tried to rip off my friend and ended up paying him twice what he asked for. Have you ever been underpaid, undervalued, or flat out cheated by someone who thought they could get away with it? If you've ever wanted to see a greedy boss get exactly what he deserves, smash that like button. Subscribe for more true stories of instant karma, and tell me in the comments your own boss gone wrong story. Let's dive in. I can still remember the smell of burnt coffee and stale carpet in that tiny Bay Area TV station. It was my first job out of college. I walked in with big dreams about journalism, broadcasting, and making a difference. But instead, I walked straight into the lair of the greediest man I've ever met. Let's call him Mr. G. He had money, old money, inherited and multiplied. But his reputation was infamous. He would cut corners, dodge bills, and squeeze every penny from anyone foolish enough to trust him. At first, I thought the stories were exaggerated. Within weeks, I knew they weren't. He'd forget to pay vendors. He'd renegotiate deals after they were signed. And if you tried to confront him, he'd smile that oily smile and say, "It's just business." Working there was a crash course in how power works when you don't have any. People whispered warnings. Get everything in writing, they told me, and never front your own money. Then came the game changer. Mr. G signed a contract with DirecTV to broadcast our local channel across the entire Bay Area. For a small station, this was huge. But there was a catch. We had 2 months to upgrade our system to handle the new uplink. Missed the deadline, and Mr. G would pay stiff penalties every single day. It was the first time I'd ever seen him nervous. He needed someone to handle the technical side, and fast. That's when my friend entered the story. Let's call him Alex. Alex was a freelance consultant, smart, calm, and one of the few people I actually trusted. Mr. G brought him in to find a cheap solution. Alex quoted him around $15,000 for a system that would automate everything. But Mr. G? He wanted it for half the price, and he wanted Alex to pay for all the hardware up front. I still remember pulling Alex aside after that meeting. Don't do it, I whispered. This guy never pays what he owes. You'll lose thousands. Alex just smiled, a glint in his eye. Watch me, he said. Over the next few weeks, Alex worked like a machine. He sourced parts, coded software, and somehow made it all work for half the budget. Nights, I'd see him hunched over equipment racks, soldering iron glowing, the hum of fans filling the cramped control room. He wasn't just building a system, he was laying a trap. And Mr. G? He strutted around like a king. My genius consultant, he'd say to visitors, taking credit for everything. He loved the idea of saving money. He loved even more that someone else was footing the bill. 2 months later, we went live on schedule. DirecTV customers could now see our little station across the Bay Area. Mr. G was ecstatic. He bragged at meetings. He bragged to advertisers. All under budget, he boasted. All thanks to my leadership. Then Alex walked into his office with the bill. Every penny of hardware cost. All the labor. It was time to pay up. And right on cue, the excuses began. I'm a little short this month. Can we do installments? Give me a few weeks. Things are tight. I watched Alex's expression stay perfectly calm. He had expected this. He even looked amused. Alex leaned back in his chair. You know, Mr. G, he said slowly, there's something you should know. That system you have? It's not automated. Someone has to code the broadcast manually. Every single day. Mr. G frowned. What do you mean? It's a 5-minute process. Simple, if you know how. But no one here knows it except me. The color drained from Mr. G's face. Are you saying? I'm saying, Alex interrupted smoothly, that unless you pay me what you owe, plus a $2,000 a month consulting fee, the station goes dark. DirecTV penalties kick in. Your contract burns. You could have heard a pin drop. Mr. G's bluster collapsed like a cheap set. He opened his mouth, closed it, opened it again. Finally, through gritted teeth. How soon can you send me an invoice? Alex got his check, and his $2,000 a month consulting fee. Month after month, like clockwork, he came in, punched a few keys, and left. Mr. G had no choice. Pay Alex, or pay the penalties. For nearly a year, Alex bled the man dry, not out of greed, but out of justice. He had fronted the money. He had done the work. Now he was getting compensated on his terms. Eventually, Alex felt sorry for the staff. He taught someone else how to run the process. But by then, Mr. G had paid him far more than the original $15,000. Watching it unfold was like watching a magician pull off the ultimate trick. Mr. G had spent years underpaying and undercutting everyone. He thought he could do the same to Alex. Instead, Alex flipped the script. I learned something that day, sitting in that dingy control room, listening to the soft click of relays. You don't always have to shout to get justice. Sometimes you just have to be patient, prepared, and a little smarter than the person trying to cheat you. Picture the scene. Mr. G signing check after check, his face sour, his ego deflated. Alex at the console, cool as ice, typing a few commands that kept the station alive. Every month, another $2,000, a silent reminder that greed has a price. The man who prided himself on never paying full price ended up paying double. The moral of the story? Short-term greed often costs more in the long run. Treat people fairly, pay them what they're worth, and you'll avoid the kind of quiet revenge Alex pulled off. Because karma doesn't always come crashing down. Sometimes it arrives as a monthly invoice. If you enjoyed this story of a greedy boss getting his due, hit that like button. Share this with a friend who's ever been ripped off. And don't forget to subscribe for more real-life tales of justice served. Because on this channel, we turn unfairness into satisfying endings.